Boosie said Kodak needs help. Kodak crashed his live demanding respect, and the whole beef got ugly in public.
You snitching. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of this.
Hey, bitch, you need to get in the gym, Kodak. Bitch, you ducking all on stage. You ducking. You finna fall out on stage.
That was Boosie going straight at Kodak after a viral clip had everybody talking. The video showed Kodak looking a little unsteady on stage, and the moment spread fast across the internet. There's already been tension between the two rappers, and Boosie clearly saw his chance to take a shot and clown him publicly. But Kodak was not about to let that slide. Now he's firing back, and the situation between them is getting real messy. Let's break it down. The clapback that echoed all over the internet. It all started with a video that hit social media on February 23, 2026. Kodak Black was performing on stage in Texas, but people quickly noticed something didn't look right. He seemed off balance, moving like he was struggling to stay steady. At one point, his crew stepped in to hold him up so he wouldn't fall in front of the entire crowd. And that wasn't the only thing people were talking about. Reports claimed Kodak showed up 9 hours late to the show. 9 hours! Fans in the crowd were recording everything on their phones, and those clips spread online like wildfire. Comments started flooding in. Some fans looked concerned, others started clowning the moment, and some were saying the rapper needed real help. His team tried to calm things down, saying it was just a bad camera angle.
Anything I say, I stand on. You should know that, bro. I kind of went too hard on you, bro. That's me, man. I was mad at you.
But by then, the internet had already made up its mind. Then the very next day, February 24, 2026, Boosie Badass jumped on Instagram and posted just 2 words. Dude needs help. FRFR. That was it. No long caption, no explanation, just those words. And everybody instantly knew who he was talking about. The comments blew up, blogs picked it up, and fans started picking sides before the day even ended. But Boosie didn't stop at just the post. He later went live on IG and started speaking on the whole situation. Those words hit hard. And later on, Boosie even admitted he might have gone a little too far with what he said. Still, he made one thing clear. He was not taking it back. In his mind, seeing Kodak like that hit him different. Not because of any beef, and not because he was chasing attention online. Boosie explained that he actually viewed Kodak as one of the leaders of the new generation of rappers. He even said he saw a lot of himself in Kodak.
Basically, like, look at it in a sense, as like the whole snitching shit or whatever type time. Like, man, bro, don't do that. That's what you want to do.
And when it feels like you're watching your own reflection moving reckless in public, it hits different. That kind of moment can make anyone react strong. Kodak was hearing everything people were saying. He kept his ear to the streets and saw the low posts, the comments, all of it. Then on March 7th, 2026, he decided he was done staying quiet. Kodak suddenly jumped into Boosie's IG Live in the middle of the stream, completely uninvited, and got straight to it. He wanted an apology, a public one. Kodak made it clear he wasn't coming in with friendly energy at all. He said, "Man, y'all don't even know what's going on, so why y'all speaking on it? I don't know that, right?" That right there was the core of Kodak's argument. In his mind, people online were speaking on his situation without knowing the full story. He felt like Boosie was putting his personal struggles out in public for everyone to judge and pick apart. At one point, Kodak even threw the word snake into the conversation.
It was hard for me, man. I lost like 25 pounds in like 15, 16 days.
Wow.
Just stretching.
And when it feels like you're watching your own reflection moving reckless in public, it hits different. That kind of moment can make anyone react strong. Kodak was hearing everything people were saying. He kept his ear to the streets and saw the posts, the comments, all of it. Then on March 7th, 2026, he decided he was done staying quiet. Kodak suddenly jumped into Boosie's IG Live in the middle of the stream, completely uninvited, and got straight to it. He wanted an apology, a public one. Kodak made it clear he wasn't coming in with friendly energy at all. He said, "Man, y'all don't even know what's going on, so why y'all speaking on it? I don't know that, right?" That right there was the core of Kodak's argument. In his mind, people online were speaking on his situation without knowing the full story. He felt like Boosie was putting his personal struggles out in public for everyone to judge and pick apart. At one point, Kodak even threw the word snake into the conversation.
Locked in.
Nah, I'm a realist, bro. Like, I'm a realist. Kodak, when I tried this on the stage, it was just solely on. I like how you putting up in nerd and bashing. But we're gonna look at the reality of it.
Suddenly, this wasn't just online chatter anymore. It started to feel like a real-time face-off between two rappers with years of history behind them. And to really understand why that moment hit so hard, you have to rewind the timeline, because none of this drama actually started with that shaky stage in Texas. The tension between them goes way back. After the live stream, Boosie even posted another video doubling down on what he said. He explained that Kodak was the one keeping the whole conversation going. Boosie said he had already spoken his piece and moved on. From his perspective, Kodak was the one who came back and turned it into something bigger. That was basically Boosie's final message on the situation. I said what I had to say and kept it moving. But if you really want to understand why Boosie reacted so strongly in February 2026, you have to go all the way back to July 2023. That moment traces back to when Kodak Black dropped the track Shaka Laka featuring Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I mean, can all the bro do a song with who, like, I don't even know the nigga he told on.
We're in on
and I ain't even from over there.
That one move cracked their relationship wide open and put the two rappers on opposite sides of a line that still hasn't shifted since then. 6ix9ine has been one of the most controversial names in rap for years. Back in 2019, when federal authorities brought a major racketeering case against him, he later cooperated during the legal process and gave testimony tied to people from his old crew. In street culture and in parts of hip-hop, that kind of situation carries heavy stigma, especially for artists who built their image on loyalty and staying solid. For someone like Boosie, that code has always been serious. He's spoken many times about standing on those principles through his own legal battles. So when Kodak, someone Boosie had previously supported, worked with, and even described as a younger version of himself, jumped on a song with 6ix9ine, Boosie took it personally on July 20th, 2023.
Nobody, Kodak, bro. I'm a gangster. Like, bro, I don't gotta clean my face for nobody.
Boosie jumped on Instagram Live and spoke openly about how he felt. He said straight up that Yak messed me up. Then he took it even further and called Kodak a rat lover during the stream. Boosie argued that working with someone like 6ix9ine could damage your credibility in the streets and in the culture. In his eyes, that collaboration crossed a line you don't cross. He even went as far as saying he wished he could remove his own verse from Rocket Man, a song he had previously done with Kodak. And that statement right there said everything. Boosie wasn't just joking around online. His message carried serious weight. What he was really saying was, I regret being connected to you. That kind of statement hits on a whole different level. It sounded like a man saying the bond they once had now felt like a stain on his name. Kodak didn't stay quiet about it either. He pushed back in his own way. At one point, he reposted a fan who defended him and called Boosie's reaction childish and stuck in old-school street politics. Later on in interviews, Kodak explained his reasoning the only way he could.
I looked at you like, you know, like I am to my generation. Like I am to my generation, the shit that I stand, I looked at you like you is to that generation.
He admitted that plenty of people around him told him not to do the collaboration, but then he followed it up with the reason he went through with it anyway. A milli 1.16. That was his answer. Kodak made it clear the opportunity came with a massive payday. In his mind, it was simple. He said he didn't personally know the people involved in 6ix9ine's past legal issues. They weren't his close friends and they weren't from his neighborhood. Because of that, he felt those street rules didn't apply to him the same way. To Kodak, it was just business. The deal made sense financially and he wasn't about to apologize for recognizing a big check. But when Boosie heard that explanation, it only made things worse. Instead of cooling things down, it pushed the tension even further. Boosie felt like that million-dollar payday proved Kodak was willing to trade respect and loyalty for money. Boosie stood on one thing: what you say and what you do always matters. In his view, the whole community was watching, and Kodak had just shown everyone where his priorities stood. And what made it sting even more was the history between them before the fame got bigger and the tension got louder. Kodak actually looked up to Boosie as an OG in the game. Kodak has even spoken on it himself before. He explained how Boosie reached out during the early days of his career. Boosie told him he had been riding through Baton Rouge, listening to his mixtape and really paying attention to his sound. At one point, Boosie even tried to sign him to a deal. Kodak ended up turning that offer down, which was reportedly around $10,000 at the time. But back then, the respect between them was real. Two artists from the South, both coming from tough backgrounds, both trying to build something out of nothing. That shared history is exactly why the 6ix9ine situation hit so hard later on. This wasn't some random rapper throwing shots at a stranger online. This was Kodak, someone Boosie had personally supported early in his journey. And from Boosie's perspective, that collaboration felt like a public rejection of everything he had always stood for. From that moment on,
when I see you looking like you drugging and out your I get mad. I'm gonna tell you
Boosie
that.
began speaking more openly about Kodak's career path. At one point, he even said Kodak's career seemed to be heading in the wrong direction. The way he put it felt less like a diss and more like a blunt, honest take. As time passed, the tension between them never really faded. By late 2025, people online had mostly stopped discussing it. The headlines moved on, but both artists still had unresolved issues sitting beneath the surface. Then, on January 7th, 2026, Kodak turned the volume back up. He dropped a track called Christmas Eve. Despite the name, there was nothing festive about it. The title almost felt like a setup because the lyrics were clearly aimed at Boosie. In the song, Kodak didn't hold back at all. He rapped, "I used to look up to Boosie. He hate I got more bread. That old head's stupid. You don't even move like an OG. Couldn't sign me, you got cold. Yeah, you know me." Every line came off sharp and direct.
Apparently, on this internet, I swear to God,
Kodak brought up jealousy, compared money, and even referenced how Boosie once tried to sign him early in his career but missed that opportunity. This wasn't just random frustration on a track. Kodak was putting everything out there for the whole culture to hear, making it official, and the timing of the release felt very intentional. The song dropped on streaming platforms just one day before Boosie had a scheduled court appearance on January 8, 2026, tied to federal firearms charges in San Diego. Kodak understood exactly what he was doing. Dropping a diss track the night before someone's major court date doesn't usually happen by accident. That kind of move looks calculated. Boosie picked up on it immediately. Even with serious legal issues ahead the next morning, he still jumped online and responded. He went straight to X and started posting his thoughts about the situation. Boosie called Kodak a clout-chasing crackhead and accused him of trying to grab attention by dropping the diss right before his court date.
Everybody got a vice some kind of way. Everybody got some kind of vice, even if it ain't drug.
He wrote, "You wait until the day before I go to court to drop a weak diss song. You know what I got going on, and you do this the day before court? 100% you are a clown." He also criticized the track itself, saying it was weak and claiming Kodak's run in the spotlight was fading. Then he flipped the focus back on Kodak's popularity. He basically challenged the internet, asking when was the last time anyone even requested a Kodak song like that anymore. That comment added even more heat to an argument that had already been building for years. Boosie's message was clear and firm. In his eyes, he didn't need any of this drama to stay relevant. His point was simple. Kodak was the one making noise because he wanted attention, while Boosie believed he was already solidified in the game. The internet instantly split into two sides. On social media, some fans stood firmly with Boosie. "You know, I was stressed out, man, but I had a successful." posting things like, "Boosie spoke truth, can't do nothing but respect it." But others jumped in to defend Kodak just as loudly. Kodak supporters fired back with comments like, "We listen to Kodak every day. Take that L, Grandpa." Suddenly, the debate turned into something bigger than just two rappers going back and forth. It became a clash between generations. You had the old heads versus the younger crowd, street code versus bag culture. The divide inside hip-hop was out in the open for everyone to see. And underneath all the jokes and arguments online was a deeper question the culture has been dealing with for years. What matters more? Staying loyal to an unwritten code or chasing opportunities and securing the bag by any means necessary? Boosie's entire identity has always leaned toward the first. Kodak's moves have often leaned toward the second. And the reality is, neither side is completely right or completely wrong.
Y'all don't even know what's going on, so why y'all speaking on I don't know.
That gray area is exactly why this conflict keeps coming back. At the same time, Boosie had a lot going on in his own life during all of this. For nearly 3 years, he had been dealing with a federal firearm case connected to a 2023 traffic stop in San Diego, where authorities reported finding 2 loaded handguns. The case went through multiple twists and turns. At one point, it was dismissed after a court ruling went in his favor, but prosecutors later appealed and the case came back again. It turned into a long legal roller coaster. Eventually, on January 9, 2026, the day after Kodak released Christmas Eve, Boosie accepted a plea deal. The outcome included time already served, 3 years of supervised release, a $50,000 fine, and 300 hours of community service. Boosie walked out of that courtroom with his freedom still intact. And right before that moment,
"I get mad when I see you looking like you drugging and thugging."
Kodak had dropped a diss track the night before. That timing caught a lot of attention online. To Boosie, it looked bold and intentional, and it only pushed him to respond even harder. At that point, both artists were pointing fingers at each other. Each one accused the other of using the situation for attention, and neither side looked ready to step away from the tension. Every response, every post, and every live stream kept things active. But the truth is, this back and forth between Kodak and Boosie was never just about rap music. To really understand what happened during that IG Live moment in March 2026, you have to look at the heavy history both men carry. Long before diss tracks and viral clips, both artists had already faced serious struggles in their lives. Legal battles, personal challenges, and tough environments shaped who they became. Those experiences aren't just background details. They're a major reason why their clash felt deeper than a typical hip-hop argument. Kodak Black, born Bill Kahan Capri on June 11, 1997 in Pompano Beach, Florida, had a rough path growing up. His early life included several run-ins with the legal system while he was still very young. Some of his first arrests came when he was around 12 years old, tied to allegations involving auto theft and breaking and entering. Kodak grew up in Golden Acres, a public housing community in Pompano Beach, where many Haitian immigrants, African Americans, and Puerto Rican families lived close together while dealing with serious economic struggles. The environment exposed a lot of young people to crime and street life early on. Kodak was raised there by his mother, and that setting played a major role in shaping the direction his life would take. Music slowly became his way out. By his mid-teens, people across Florida were already paying attention to the young rapper with the raw voice and unfiltered stories about street life. But even as his music career started rising, the legal troubles never fully went away. Over the years, Kodak faced multiple arrests and court situations that kept interrupting his momentum. Every time he started gaining traction in the industry, another headline would pop up and pull attention in a different direction. Still, Kodak kept dropping music and building a loyal fan base. Songs like No Flockin' helped push his name into the national spotlight, and soon major artists were reaching out to collaborate with him. That's around the time his path started crossing with veterans in the game, including Boosie Badass. Back then, the connection looked like mentorship, respect, and two Southern rappers recognizing something real in each other. Kodak's mother, a Haitian immigrant, raised him mostly on her own after his father left early in his life. She worked multiple jobs just to keep the lights on and make sure the family had what they needed. Growing up under that kind of pressure meant the streets often filled the gaps that stability usually would. As Kodak got older, the legal issues seemed to grow alongside him. In July 2022, authorities pulled him over during a traffic stop in Broward County. According to reports, officers found 31 oxycodone pills, along with more than $74,000 in cash inside the vehicle. That situation led to a serious trafficking-related charge, a felony carrying the possibility of decades in prison. Kodak was able to post bond and return home while the case continued moving through the courts, but things became more complicated months later. In February 2023, he reportedly violated the conditions of his bail after missing a required screening appointment. Later reports said he tested positive for fentanyl, which led to a warrant being issued and more legal pressure building around him. Around that same time, Kodak went live on Instagram and addressed the rumors himself. He pushed back against what blogs and social media were saying about him. During the stream, while defending himself, he also made a statement that caught a lot of attention. He said, "Everybody out here is on something. Stop singling me out like I'm the only one moving crooked." That line became a major talking point online. It wasn't a clear confession, and it wasn't a full denial either. It was classic Kodak energy, speaking his mind while leaving just enough room for people to interpret it different ways. In December 2023, another headline involving Kodak made waves online. Police reported finding him slumped behind the wheel of a Bentley that was blocking traffic. Officers also said there was white powder around his mouth when they approached the vehicle. A quick field test reportedly came back positive for cocaine. Kodak later explained that the substance came from oxycodone that had been prescribed to him. After reviewing the situation, a judge eventually dismissed the possession charge once the prescription documentation was confirmed. Legally, the case did not move forward, but the image from that incident had already spread across the internet. Once something like that hits social media, it tends to stick in people's minds. Whether Kodak liked it or not, that moment quickly became another chapter in the public narrative surrounding him. His legal history involving firearms also goes back several years. In May 2019, Kodak faced federal charges after authorities said he provided false information on paperwork tied to firearm purchases. The case resulted in a 46-month federal prison sentence. He served roughly half of that time before his sentence was commuted. The early release came with specific conditions that had to be followed closely. Over time, those conditions and other legal issues continued to create challenges for him. The cycle of headlines and court updates kept showing up. Boosie's story carries its own long history as well, with even more years behind it. Born in Baton Rouge on November 14, 1982, Boosie grew up in the streets of South Baton Rouge, an area where poverty and violence were constant realities. His father passed away due to substance-related issues, and several people around him were already caught up in the justice system. As a teenager, Boosie was surrounded by serious situations while trying to survive in that environment. In 2009, Baton Rouge police arrested him after reporting that he was found with marijuana and a firearm while already on probation. He eventually received a 4-year sentence, but things got more complicated when he later violated the terms of his house arrest after testing positive for marijuana. Because of that violation, the judge increased the sentence to 8 years. That decision sent Boosie to Angola, one of the most well-known prisons in the United States. He remained there from 2009 until March 2014. During that time behind bars, he also faced additional substance-related charges after authorities said there was an attempt to bring prohibited items into the facility. Boosie later pleaded guilty in that case and received another 8-year sentence that was set to run concurrently. That meant it didn't extend the time he would spend locked up, but it still became part of his legal record moving forward. After being released, more challenges followed. At one point, he violated parole after testing positive for marijuana. Instead of returning to prison, he was able to work out an agreement that involved fines and probation. But legal issues weren't the only battles he faced. Boosie had already been dealing with serious health challenges for most of his life. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was around 10 years old, which meant managing insulin and strict health routines while navigating prison time, street life, and a demanding music career. Then in 2015, another major health scare hit. During a routine checkup while he was out on parole, doctors discovered stage 1 kidney cancer. Surgery happened quickly. Doctors removed about 27% of his right kidney to treat the condition. After recovering, Boosie spoke openly about how that experience changed his outlook, focusing more on faith, family, and continuing to push forward. Both of these men carry real history behind them, not just music success, but serious life experiences, legal battles, health scares, time behind bars, and years navigating the justice system. That background shapes everything they say to each other today. So when Boosie says he's worried about Kodak, that doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from someone who has lived through years of consequences and hard lessons. There's real experience behind those words. And when Kodak says to stay out of his business, that also comes from a real place. Kodak has been dealing with serious situations since he was very young. For most of his life, he's had to figure things out on his own. And that kind of survival mindset doesn't just disappear. Neither of them is speaking from a soft perspective. Both are speaking from lives shaped by pressure, struggle, and public scrutiny. That's exactly why this situation has been so hard to resolve. If you peel back the diss tracks, the live stream arguments, and all the online reactions, the conflict actually reveals a bigger conversation happening inside hip-hop. It raises the question of what happens when personal struggles become too visible to ignore. And even more importantly, it asks another question: who in the culture has the right to speak on it? Kodak Black's past struggles with substances haven't just been rumors. He has addressed parts of it himself in interviews and online conversations. He has spoken about past use of substances like Percocet and explained that some pills he took were contaminated. He also shared that he spent around $350,000 on rehabilitation efforts while trying to deal with opioid dependency. No matter what Kodak explained in interviews, the public narrative around him kept getting louder. Every new headline, every viral clip, every social media debate kept adding to the story people believed about him. And that points to a bigger issue inside hip-hop itself. The culture often celebrates a certain lifestyle in the music, but then reacts with shock when that same lifestyle starts showing up in real life. It creates a contradiction that artists end up stuck in. Research has even highlighted how common these themes are. Some studies have found that about 72% of popular rap songs include at least one reference to substances or alcohol. In certain time periods, rap led all music genres in that category, with numbers reaching around 77% of songs. So, the same fans who stream those tracks and play them loud are often the first ones in the comments sections when an artist appears on stage looking off or not fully themselves. That's the contradiction. The culture often celebrates certain behaviors in the music, but then when those same behaviors become visible in real life. In real life, the reaction quickly turns into criticism. Kodak Black is far from the first artist to get caught in that cycle, and he likely won't be the last. Boosie seemed to understand that dynamic better than most. He has navigated similar energy throughout his own career. So when he saw that stage clip from Texas, his reaction didn't come off like a simple attempt to get attention. Instead, it sounded like frustration coming from recognition. Boosie even explained it himself during one of his responses. Quote, "When I see you looking like you're drugging and out your mind, I get mad. I'ma tell you that." Not sad, not distant disappointment, mad. The kind of anger someone feels when they believe a person they respected is damaging something they worked hard to build. That word kept coming up every time Boosie explained his reaction. That moment was Boosie putting his whole mentorship perspective on the table. In his mind, he was saying something bigger than just a quick comment online. He was basically saying, I built something during my era of hip-hop. I stood on certain principles, and I expected the next generation to carry that same energy forward. So when he saw Kodak looking unsteady in public, it felt bigger than just one person having a rough moment. To Boosie, it looked like a cultural issue, because younger artists are watching everything the current stars do. But Kodak heard all of that and flipped the argument completely, not necessarily because he rejected guidance, but because he felt the way it was delivered crossed the line. From Kodak's point of view, speaking on someone's personal struggles on Instagram Live isn't mentorship, it turns into a public broadcast. Once it's online, it becomes content for the whole internet. And Kodak wasn't about to let that slide just because it was framed as tough love. That was the real nerve that got hit in this situation. Kodak's stance was simple. If you really care about someone, handle it privately. Call them, send a message, pull up and talk face to face. Handle it like real ones. But putting his name on social media while talking about substance issues felt different to him. In his eyes, that looked less like concern and more like public attention. And this debate about calling out another artist publicly isn't new in hip-hop. There have been other moments in the past where artists struggled privately, while the industry mostly stayed quiet. Lil Wayne's health struggles played out in front of the world for years. Fans watched it happen in real time. The same culture that celebrated lean references in countless songs suddenly went quiet when the real-life consequences became visible. Boosie chose to take a different route by speaking out. Whether people think that move was right or wrong really depends on which side they stand on. Some believe tough public honesty is necessary, while others think those conversations should stay private. But Boosie wasn't standing on completely clean ground either. During this same period, his own legal situation was unfolding publicly. In January 2026, the same month Kodak released Christmas Eve, Boosie was sentenced in his federal firearm case. The outcome included time already served, supervised release, and a financial penalty after authorities reported finding 2 loaded handguns during a traffic stop. So while Boosie was calling for accountability from Kodak, he was also dealing with serious legal issues of his own. And that contrast didn't go unnoticed. Kodak pointed that out quickly during the live stream. He wasn't about to let that slide. That's the reality of all this. Both men have complicated histories. Both have faced the justice system, public scrutiny, and difficult choices that shaped their lives. And the fan reaction split almost perfectly down the middle. Boosie supporters argued that he was one of the only people willing to speak honestly about what was happening. To them, he stepped up and said what others in the industry stayed quiet about. On the other side, Kodak supporters pushed back just as hard. They claimed Boosie was being hypocritical. In their eyes, someone dealing with a serious federal case going live to call out another rapper's personal habits didn't look like the wise OG move it was being framed as. And in the end, nothing really got resolved. There was no big peace moment, no joint post, no public sit-down where both sides talked it out for the world to see. Boosie stood firm on everything he said. Kodak kept brushing it off in interviews and social media posts. That March IG Live ended without any real closure, and the tension slowly faded back underground, at least for now. What it left behind, though, was a raw picture of 2 artists who came from similar environments and faced many of the same struggles growing up, yet ended up with completely different views on loyalty, respect, and what it really means to keep it real in this culture. And now the question goes to you. Who do you think had the stronger point in this situation, Boosie or Kodak? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, check out one of the videos on your screen right now for more deep dives into the biggest stories in hip-hop.